So the next most important yet simple things in React is React components. React is basically famous for its components, and all you have in Facebook account, so you can check it on your feed in the Facebook. When you post something, it usually takes loading on that specific area and doesn't load the whole screen. So that's the beauty of React. It doesn't load the whole screen, or it doesn't jeopardize your whole operations while working on one component. For example, if you are on a chat with your friend, so only your chat settings, only your chat is getting loaded as soon as you are sending messages to your friend, not the whole page. So that's what React is famous for. So in this lecture we are going to cover components. So here we go. So when you created the app, React app, so app was already rendered there, so we can render it again. That's the basic syntax to render a component. Here the name of the component is app. Let's see what we got in app. So the basic structure was a React logo that was in the initial phase of React when we just created the app and wrote npm start in the terminal. So we will just remove that code. So the syntax of this is we just import. We don't need this, okay, and right now don't need this one thing, okay. Now the function is, it's basically a function and returning something. So by that, and first thing to note here, you have to export your function to make it available for other modules to join. So here this syntax support this, and suppose you have one or more functions in one in one module, so you can just write uh, you can write other functions brackets or constants brackets and export them that way. That can be further understood by you in further videos. So here we are just returning, I can say h1 my react app, okay, just this and this, and cd my app. And now listen carefully. When opening the terminal where you are saving your app, make sure you change directly to that app before starting your server, so it may not cause any error, because that way it will not find your file to run. Okay, now write npm start. Okay, here we got an error that app is not defined. Sure, we can check it. Okay, here I've told you that we have to export something when we make it available to other modules. But the other thing is, when you use some other component in your module, you have to import it. Okay, import, like, that's the function name from an app. I believe this may solve the error. Yes, you can see that. Now when we were rendering it there, it was working just fine. So other thing, when we are rendering it with the help of component, the result is, you can say, is same, but with the component you have so much flexibility. I mean, you can add other components if you have one div here, another div on the other side. So, and you have to change only one div, then you can go into that particular div and change these settings. So in that case you don't have to mess up with your whole React app. So let's see it here. For example, I may create a folder, components. Okay, in components I write heading .jsx, okay, and content.jsx. okay, in heading.jss we just write. Okay, another way of exporting the function is writing export in front of the function export const, export const heading. Okay, and that way we can return some value like h1 heading. Okay, and do the same with this heading, and this one is content. Okay, so in the index.gx, so when we were just returning one file, we do not bother about adding react fragments with it. So now we have to add more components with it. So we are just, in case we don't face any error, we are applying a react fragment on both sides of this. So we can say that first is the heading. So if you are when you are writing comments, you may get suggestions, and that is, I believe, helpful in writing the code. They may save you most of your time, like this heading. I just needed the same thing, and they just suggested it to me. Okay, and the next I need is content. So when I compile it, this is a heading container, this is content container. So sometimes you get these warnings. Warnings do nothing, have nothing to do with the execution. They have a tendency to cause errors, but these are not actual errors. Okay, so warnings means here the warning is app defined but never used. So we just remove the app from here, and we never used it with this. So they are giving just simply giving us the warning that we are just initializing or importing it but never using it. So example, I just use it here, the warning is gone. Okay, so it's good to remove warnings as much as you can, but if you don't, there is no need to be worried about it. So like this, one more component we can build from it. I can say list.jsx. okay, list. Okay, another short form of writing a function is we can write refc. So it can import your whole content, which can be reused every time you write a new module or function. Like this, we need all of it. It also added export functionality, import react functionality with it. So we can just write li, sorry, order list, I believe unordered list. Okay, li wake up, eat, train, repeat, just like that. And we can use list item here. Okay, so here we go. Here is our heading content component, here is our content component, and here is our list component. So all are rendered very successfully. So try to learn it by practicing it a lot. And that's all from today's lecture. Thank you.